Welcome everyone to the UndercoverBrony Reviews. The episode reviewed today will be A Trivial Pursuit, written by Brittany Jo Flores. Pony Trivial Pursuit Game Night. My life is complete.
Lesson 0, Part 2. I don't know. There's a. I was trying to remember watching this episode. I'm like, when's the last time Twilight's just freaked out this hard? And I can't tell you. All I can tell you is, I forgot how much I liked watching these ponies lose their mind. There's some quality memes to be had in this episode.
Oh, definitely. Now, a couple things before we get started. First of all, the cat is in the room right now. So if you hear any meowing during the recording, that's why. And then I finally have a wall of pony up, so we'll be able to have some awesome-ass background shots.
I have a blank wall behind me that signifies my depression.
Oh.
All right, let's kick it off. You want to start?
Sure. So it starts off with Spike in his pajamas trying to basically say, I'm going to need to get Twilight to go to bed because I know she's going to be neurotic. I'm going to see books stacked up all over the fucking place, and I need to make sure that she goes to bed.
And it's that moment I realized I don't actually know what the word neurotic means.
Well, why
I thought I thought it was like a sleep-related thing or something.
No, neurotic is more like kind of off your rocker in a sense, but I would like the professional terminology.
Neurotic means you're afflicted by neurosis, a word that's been used since the 1700s to describe mental, emotional, or physical reactions that are drastic and irrational. At its root, a neurotic behavior is an automatic, unconscious effort to manage deep anxiety. So if I'm reading that right, then that tells me that that Twilight's neurosis sucks because she cannot manage the stress. And I don't know. It's hard to make a joke out of mental health. I mean,
honestly,
you can,
but it's not professional.
Yeah,
but
I don't want to end up like Keemstar Boogie 2988.
Yeah. By the way, that whole definition that you put there, the neurosis, that's Twilight in a nutshell. If you really think about it.
According to WebMD, yes, it is.
So he finds that there's no books on the table, and Twilight is just sitting there with a bell in her magic, and she's like, "Ask me a question. Are you going to bed?" The answer is, ding, yes, I am. It's like, quick, ask me another question.
WebMD has two pictures for the word neurotic. One is this bald dude with a facial hair. He looks like the singer from Meshuggah. He's doing this, like this. But then there's this really cool picture. It's a side profile of a head. And from the neck and this way going like this, it's like it's coming up. It's like a big branching tree, and there's a whole bunch of branches. I'll send you the picture. It's really cool. WebMD, you know, when they're not telling you your common cold is AIDS, they're quite creative.
So then we head off to the trivia drop, and I gotta say,
is this just bingo but for teenagers and 20-year-olds?
I have no idea, but it's definitely a lot more involved than bingo, because Twilight's like talking about all these different rules and stuff like that goes into it. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, you're such a nerd. But they get there, and I have to say, I love who they bring in. They bring in Sunburst, Cranky Doodle Donkey, Mudbriar, Maud Pie, all these people, all these ponies And I'm just like, oh my gosh, this is perfect.
That's one thing I gotta say. I'm really kind of glad that Cranky got some sort of sense of longevity in the show, at least as far as like cameos and stuff go. Because like he's funny. I like Cranky. He's great. He got a crap deal in his debut episode, but he's great.
Oh yeah, totally.
He's great. I wouldn't mind a prequel episode talking about Cranky Doodle's days in the war,
Right?
assuming there was a war.
The Celestial War, I guess.
Yeah, the Celestial Republic versus the Lunar Empire, or whatever the hell they were called.
Right? Lunar Republic and Solar Empire. I think
Yeah, that's right. Wonder if people still engage in that, because that was kind of fun to see on Film Fiction, but it seemed to kind of die off around season 5.
Oh yeah, a lot of stuff died off around season 5. You didn't see, well, Molestia got canceled. You had Cupcakes, which is kind of a one and done sort of thing. Tyrant
Mac,
Molestia was pretty.
you had Shirley's Garden.
Oh gosh. Oh my gosh. Anyway, so back to the trivia night. And speaking of, she is here. Jolie is here in the background.
Big Mac's barn.
Oh,
No. It was Sweet Apple Massacre.
yes, totally. Now, so they get there, and I have to say, Spike had the best line here. I swear to God, Twilight's freaking out, and Spike literally says the line, "Do I have to do that thing where I list all your successes as Princess of Friendship to put things in perspective and remind you this is just a game?" Damn!
Rainbow Factory.
Pew, 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 pew.
Rainbow Factory was like probably the better one of all of them, if only because the song and all its various metal covers were pretty sick. But
the L Train's metal cover was amazing.
I thought that Cupcakes was overrated.
Mm-hmm. But these jokes are getting bladder. Such cringe. Anywho.
So keep going.
Yeah. So Twilight's like, I need to redo all my charts. Can you go check on him outside? And she teleports Spike outside. And he comes back in. And it's like, did I miss anything? And she's just like, Granny Smith's about to pick the fifth team. I can't really do much right now except hope and pray. I was going to have Sunburst be my partner originally because he was the highest statistical chance of success, but he got paired up with Cranky, and Cranky's fallen asleep on him, and I thought it was funny. Especially when Sunburst taps on him kind of awkwardly, like, dude, wake up. And then you had Mudprior and Maud Pie together. And according to Twilight, this was the third night in a row that they've been like this. And I'm like, ouch. Like, statistically, ouch.
Ouch town. Population U, bro.
Yeah, that must break your brain a little. They should have had that. Okay, do you remember in Pony Point of View, I think it was, where I think Spike says something. No. I believe it was in Father Knows Beast, where Spike says something, and then you see the X-ray of Twilight's heart shattering. They should have done an X-ray of Twilight's brain, kind of like starting to short circuit a little bit.
Oh, that would have been great. Or right. I always wish that other shows would do this. Is when what was it, from like the old Bugs Bunny cartoons? They would hold up like these white cue cards. There'd be like and there'd be two pictures on it. There'd be like a ball and then a screw.
Yeah, screwball.
Like screwball. Yeah. Just stuff like that. It was
or just like the ultra realistic close-ups from SpongeBob.
Oh yeah, where they get all hyper realistic and stuff. I don't need it. That's probably the best example, but yeah, that was. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm glad the show didn't do that, but if it did, I don't care what anyone would have said, I would have laughed.
Oh yeah. So Then you also have Rainbow Dash and Applejack that they're usually together, but they're not because Applejack is paired up with Dr. Hooves, and I forget who Rainbow Dash is paired up with. But then you have Fluttershy and Bulk Biceps, which I was like, oh my gosh, they're bringing that back.
Yeah.
And I love how Twilight says that thank goodness Rainbow Dash and Applejack are not together because Team Apple Dash is unstoppable because they try to outwin each other. So they always get a bunch of points.
That's
Team Apple Dash.
Hey man,
They
how you
know
think?
what they did.
Hey man, how you think I feel? They do everything. They build up Rarajack, but they tear down Flutterdash all the damn time. Pisses me off.
Oh boy. But I also have to say, the way they were going through this, where you had category and then the questions, I have to say it reminded me of two things. One, it reminded me of Jeopardy a little bit in the terms of how they have the category with the question. But also that it reminded me of Pony Show Trivia, which it's run by my good friends Fox and Crystal, and they go through different conventions, and they do a similar setup where they have a theme for the game, and they have different questions and things like they have different themes for each round, and they have questions about those themes, and it's really a lot of fun. You can check them out on Facebook. I will put a link in the description. Every Tuesday, they do a Trivia Tuesday where they ask a question and see who comments the right answer first. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's a similar thing that happens at a bar down here in town, except, you know, except everyone's drunk, but there's this one team that wins every week because I don't know, they're like people in their mid 40s and they got nothing going on for them right now, so they're like, we won, you suck. And I'm like, hey, you know what? At least I've got more than 4 decades ahead of me.
Yeah.
Bastards.
So they keep going through, and we almost forgot to talk about the main catalyst of this episode. Pinkamena Diane Pie.
Pinkus Pius in this episode. You know what I joked that this episode reminded me of Lesson Zero. Do you know what this actually reminded me of? It reminded me of Pinky King, but it sounded like someone watched Pinky King and thought, you know what? What if we had this formula, but with like a Lesson Zero execution? But like Year Zero is like metaphorically 11 out of 10. So, and Pinky King is like, I don't remember what I gave it, but metaphorically, let's just say like a 3. So it's I don't know. I don't know. It reminded me of that, and I couldn't shake that feeling through the episode. It was still good, but and I'm not even saying like, oh, this felt like a rehash. No, it literally felt like those two episodes, like, got together, hung out, made a couple mistakes. They tried to work together, but in the end, before the thing was even 10 years old, they decided to split. But they're like, you know what? It's cool. We'll put them through school, but we'll lead separate lives.
Yeah, I can see where that goes.
If any of that, wait a minute, I don't think any of that made any sense.
Well, here's what's funny. You were mentioning have a Lesson Zero type thing with a Feeling Pinky Keen vibe, or a Feeling Pinky Keen like episode with a vibe of Lesson Zero. Does that mean you're trying to say that this new writer, which it is a new writer, I believe,
kind of late in the game to bring a new writer on, isn't it?
Yeah, but are you trying to say that this writer is a mixture of Dave Polsky and Megan McCarthy?
Wait, what?
Megan McCarthy did Lesson Zero, and
Dave
Polsky did Feeling Pinky Keen.
Oh God, that's right. Yeah, that's right. I remember because the Dave Polsky one. That's why I was like, hey, it's proof that no one's perfect, because, man, there was a point where he and what was the other guy's name? Corey
Powell. Yeah.
Corey Powell, those two were our boys, man. There was a period where if them and before she took over the show, if either of those two or Megan McCarthy wrote an episode, they were like my favorite episodes. I almost wish Megan McCarthy. I almost wish Megan McCarthy had stayed to write episodes because, yeah, she's the overall creative control, but she was really, really good at the episodes she wrote.
Same with Emma Larson. May you rest in peace. Well, from the show at least.
I like how he's the only writer that, in a way, symbolically actually got a send off in the show.
Mm-hmm.
Like what was the episode? I forget the name of the episode. What's his last one? It was
the Fame and Misfortune.
Fame and Misfortune. It was essentially M.A. Larson's like Viking funeral, dude. It's like at the time you think so, but even looking back, especially, it's just like, man, thanks, M.A. Larson.
Yeah. So anyway, they keep going through, and Pinkie Pie is this catalyst because Twilight is freaking out because Pinkie Pie has never done this before. And so she tries to answer. She answers the first question, like Pinkie Pie answers the first question, because the question was, who was the pony that didn't like Christmas and a heartwarming tale? And that's obviously Snowfall Frost. But Pinkie Pie is just like, no one, because everyone loves gifts and hugging and all that stuff. And Granny Smith's like, that's technically right, but technically wrong as well. So Twilight keeps stealing the bell away from her. And I love how there's one gag where Pinkie Pie puts her hoof down to hit the buzzer, and it's a cupcake that she hits her hoof on. And I was just like, yes, that makes so much sense.
And then from this point on, so we're at the point now, right? Where Twilight starts going nutso because she refuses to allow Pinkie Pie to answer her any questions.
Yeah, and she starts trying to target other teams. So you remember, like, last week when I went on not a rant, but I went on a thing where I mentioned how last week reminded me of how much of some of my issues with Rainbow Dash and Twilight, but about how at least with Rainbow Dash she was consistent, and Twilight I've always gotten inconsistent vibes off her. This episode felt like a parody of everything anyone ever had wrong with Twilight. You know what I mean? Like, this episode felt like a intentionally Flandernized Twilight doing a bunch of take that's at people's perceptions of Twilight. And like, because John, it's been 10 years. I've never seen Twilight. Twilight wasn't this crazy in Lesson Zero, or at least in Lesson Zero, she was like semi-mildly justified. But in this one, I'm just like, and I appreciate that they pointed it out because it was funny when they did. But like, dog, it's trivia. It's trivia night. It's not like, it's not like football or another sport or a movie or something else important, like, I don't know, Overwatch. My point is that, well, it's important to me. I got to keep them Reaper main stats going good. Point is, Twilight was insane and it was funny, but to me, it got to a point where I'm like, okay, this has to be in some ways parody. Okay, so TLDL, too long didn't listen. You're basically saying Twilight would be excellent in CinemaSins.
Yes.
Twilight doing CinemaSins is literally what this character was in this episode.
So moving on.
So she starts attacking each character. Like, there's literally a rule about if your partner falls asleep, you have to be disqualified. And she tries for a motion to add a new rule. She's literally like, Maud and Mupbriar are staring too deadpan. Can we disqualify him? Like, what the hell?
That was funny.
Yeah.
No, Maud is deadpan. Mudbriar is just like, what's the word? He's just snarky.
Yeah, but he can also look deadpan. That's for sure.
Yeah. No, he has resting bitch face.
Yeah, totally. And so she uses this against Pinkie Pie next. She gets her voted off Survivor Island. And Pinkie Pie goes, sits, and sulks in a corner. And she asks Sunburst to come onto her team because he's the best option for her to use. So, plus Cranky Doodle and him got disqualified, so she brought him on to take Pinkie's place. And I love how Sunburst is just like, I'm pretty good at this, I need to keep that streak alive. And she's constantly getting a taste of her own medicine in the next little montage where she keeps getting the bell taken away from her. And I'm just like, serves you right, bitch. Just say it.
JS. So I'm trying to remember what happens next because I watched this at like 3 a.m. They may be asking, why the hell did you watch it at 3 a.m? When else is a good time to watch ponies?
Pretty much.
Just saying. So what happened next?
Basically,
I should really pull up the notes I took for this.
Yes, you should. What happens here was Sunburst asks that the question was, how many holes does Daring Do's hat have? And Dash is like 20 because, of course, she's a Daring Do nerd. And so Sunburst's like, hey, can you look that up real quick just to make sure? And Twilight starts looking it up, but she's like, wait, I can't because I can't look at outside references. It's Rule 34, Part B, Section 8, Clause number 2, or something like that. And they went deep into that shit, I swear to God. But she's like, I can't look at external references. And you trying to get me disqualified? And then she looks over at Pinkie because she realizes that she did basically the same thing to get Pinkie disqualified. It was a different thing, but I can't remember exactly what Twilight did. But I just got to say, I saw that knife hit Twilight's chest, and I'm like, ha 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 ha, suffer, suffer.
That's from a song. What's that from? I don't know. That should be used before a breakdown or something. Suffer.
Why am I thinking of that one video where it's the blind kid on the football team? And then it has that metal song. What the fuck
is going on? I showed that to my dad, and his exact reaction was basically everyone else's. He's like, I shouldn't laugh, but I did.
It's so funny.
It's the actual song's pretty good, but like,
oh yeah,
I wish that song had been a bigger meme than that that one video, because that would have been great.
Oh yeah,
to see that everywhere. Like, could you imagine that? Like in movies or something. Like, let me think. Oh, like in Lion King when Scar pushes off Mufasa to his death, he's like, "Long live the king!" What the fuck is going on? And then Mufasa trampled by wildebeests.
Hey, but make the live action one a little more fun and lively. Oh,
Hey, I can't say for sure because I'm not going to see it. How about this? I will see it if it means I get to roast it on Nerdcast. Then I'll see the movie, but you would have to promise me.
Okay, that works with me. By the
So,
way, we have another podcast. It's called The Nerdcast. It's on my personal channel. Go
well, we're
check it
working
out. We
on
just
it.
did a breakdown of Marvel versus DC.
Yeah, we're working on it.
Yeah. So she goes to apologize to Pinky. And she gets, well, first of all, she gets the rule that since Cranky Doodle woke up, they're going to be able to, him and Sunburst can go back to where they were. And Twilight goes to talk to Pinky. And it's like, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done that to you and all that. And I love Pinky's reaction. She's just like, come on, is that really the Twilight I know? Or something like that. And I'm just like, damn. Damn. And so Pinky's like, I don't know if I can join Twi-Pie forever, yay, because well, I just can't. And Twilight's like, I understand. Even the Princess of Friendship can make mistakes. And and just like with Parent Map, where Sunburst's just like, oh, I'm not sorry for that. Pinkie Pie's just like, not about that. It's I made this cake, this Twiburst cake to celebrate, and now we can't use it. I'm just like, Pinky created a new ship. That is awesome.
Yeah, not usually that happens in the show. Okay, so here are my notes. Let me see here. So, are we at the part with the moral?
Yes.
Okay, so um Twilight's like so now basically everyone was disqualified, but now no one's disqualified. And this is exactly what I wrote. Twilight's cool with Pinky. She'll play the game, and then in parentheses I wrote LOL thinking about Triple H. And then I said they're gonna play the game even if they may not win. And it took 24 minutes for Twilight to accomplish a basic act of friendship 10 years into the show. LMAO. Gotta tell John that.
Now, if I'm remembering correctly, the Triple H guy is the Are You Ready? Right?
Well, yeah, he was in DX. He's
Okay. Okay.
It's all about the game and how you play it. Yeah. He's the
No,
sledgehammer. The
I'm
sledgehammer.
just, I'm just thinking of Pinkie Pie taking Triple H's place, but I just gotta know one thing. Are you ready? No, I said, are you ready?
And if you're not down with that, we've got two words for you. Friendship is magic. So that was the episode, everybody. It was good.
Yeah.
Is that better than the last two episodes? The last two episodes. Well, actually, the last episode was one of these.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what I should do? I really should send you the clip of the audio of -5 stars. That way you could put it into the podcast. That'd be really funny. But anyway,
Is this -5 stars like that?
and you'll hear you hear the guy. Anyway, so yeah, no, pretty good episode, everybody. This was, I would say, what? This feels like an 8. It's above average. If only slightly so. I can't give it anything more than an 8, but I know I can't give it like a 9 or nothing. So I feel like an 8 is the right score for me.
You know what? I agree with you on that. I'm thinking about giving this an 8 as well, because it had some great moments. I was laughing my head off the whole time. I was smiling the whole time, but it's definitely not one of those episodes that where it makes you think or brings a intense emotion to you or does a swerve. It's just kind of an episode that's all around good fun. So yeah, an 8 from me. So next week's episode, that's the one where Fluttershy talks to Angel, isn't it?
Yes. So they like switch bodies or something?
I have no idea, but
I just know that the song that the title is a reference to a song my dad likes, so hopefully it's good. Otherwise, well, I guess nothing happens, then it's just not a good episode. But it would be nice.
you know what? Is it wrong that I want to have an end credits scene where Pinkie Pie finds out about that potion and it's like, I want to know what Gummy's thinking, and then you hear Gummy's voice going, "Oh God," or something like that, or "What is life?" That would be funny.
That'd be great.
Yeah. So until next time, that's it from me, John.
And me, Snakeskin.
And we will talk to you guys later. Peace out, Dragon.
Adios.